Welcome to the Millennial Mum Show. It's me, your host, Tolu, the Millennial Mom. So today we're going to be talking about agriculture. You know I love women in non-conventional professions, and we have a female farmer in the house today. And you know what? Surprising, women make up 70% of agriculture industry. They work in agriculture. 70% of women work in agriculture. You'll be shocked to find out because a lot of people actually feel like agriculture is a male-dominated industry. But no, and yes, we have a mom, a farmer, a farming consultant in the studio today. And I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to let her introduce herself. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Thank you. Can you please introduce yourself to everybody? I know I've done a bit of introduction, but now, introduce yourself to us, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adekunbi Okekunle, a mom, an entrepreneur who deals with commodities and fresh supplies, and above all, a female farmer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that amazing introduction. So, Kumbi, tell us about your farming journey. How did you get to this place?
Okay. My farming journey started 2019/2020, in between the pandemic. Before this time, I was and still a supplier of fresh vegetables. So, and all these things that we buy from the market are seasonal. So, at this time, between 2019 and 2020, I was in Ibadan. But major item, there's a particular vegetable that is very scarce, and the only source is from Lagos to every other part of the western states, so which is spring onion. I have the idea that, okay, what if I go into spring onion plantation in Ibadan? So that was how going into farming started 2019 to 2020.
So did you start planting spring onion in Ibadan?
Eventually, I didn't, but that was how I started. I went into farming fully in 2020.
Okay, so what did you start off with when you went into farming? What did you start planting?
Okay, I did jute, that is ewedu.
Okay.
I did vegetables, different kind of vegetables. Then I did cassava.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your regular day-to-day life? Like today is Monday. What's the regular day-to-day life on a farm? What happens on the farm on a regular day?
Okay.
From morning.
From morning, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It depends on what you have in your farm, but a day-to-day activities on my farmland presently, we are weeding,
Okay.
packing,
Okay.
burning, making ridges. That is what we do now, because this is the time that you clear your farm, preparing to do your planting.
What do you mean by burning?
Weeding. When you weed,
Yeah.
you clear, cutting down, then packing, drying you, then burning the weeds.
Okay.
So that you can have a clear farmland before you can do anything
On the farm.
You have to weed. You can only weed and pack during raining season, because the rain won't allow you do the burning.
Okay.
So, and which is a lot stressful. But this kind of season, when you weed, the sun helps you to dry. You light up, you burn, so that it will give you a clear land before you can then do any other thing.
This sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
So now you said you're a mom, and then you have a farm. Before I continue, how big is your farm? Currently, the farm you're working on now, how big is your farm? You're allowed to boast, please.
Altogether, 15 acres plus 28 acres plus 10 acres.
15 plus 28 plus 10. I don't know maths, but you can do the maths.
20 acres.
Are you trying to be humble?
Sincerely, that's the size of farmland that I'm actually
Working
in
on.
control of. Yeah.
Okay, now that seemed like a lot.
It is a lot.
Now, how do you manage that as a mom, as a business person? Because I do understand that running a farm is something in itself. Then there's a business side of it. So how do you manage as a mom? Because you have children, you have a child, children,
Yeah.
I don't know how many. Then how do you manage that?
Well, going into farming for anybody is an interest. So
Okay.
if you don't have a zeal, if you don't have a desire, any other thing coming out of it will look over stressful for you. But once you have a desire for something, then how to cope will
Comes
come
to you.
in. You figure out how to cope about this thing. So For me, I have someone who helps me take care of my daughter when I'm off to the farm. And well, for me, doing farming is interesting for me.
You love it?
Yes, I do. It's challenging, but at the same time, a lot of prospects. It's interesting. It's lucrative. I enjoyed it, but it comes with its own challenges too.
Like life. Everything in life comes, yes, it's true, because that's the reality of it. Everything in life comes with its own challenges, and we can't really rule that out. So I asked you about the size of the land you're working with, because I wanted to this is actually meant to make people have interest in agriculture. We want to talk, we want moms or people that actually want to invest in agriculture. We want them to see the good side of it. Now, when you talk about 15 plus 18 plus 10 acres, now that's not exactly small scale farming to me. I stand corrected. So how can I start up as a farmer? This is me. I want to start up. I don't have 50 acres. How can I start up?
Starting up farming, doing farming can be anywhere. It depends on how you want to go into it. Some persons don't have to own a land before they can go into farming. Some persons don't have a farmland, but the little space they have in their compound is a matter of putting up a bag, get a good sand, a good soil, not sand, a good soil, the kind of seed they want to plant. Some person might say, I just want to try out pawpaw seeds. Some person might say they just want to try out jute seeds. Some might say vegetable in the small space they have in their home. So farming starts from there. But if you now want to go further, like
making money out of it.
Yes, because that kind of farming that you do is just for you to consume in your house. But when it comes to wanting to make money out of it, then you need to source for a land. Then knowing what you actually want to go into. You cannot just jump into farming because everybody's doing farming. You want to. Number one thing, you must have time. Number two, there must be a desire, a zeal. You must be convinced that this is what you want to do. Because a lot of persons here, farming is interesting, is lucrative, cassava is selling, and before you know, everybody just rush into it. The way they rush into it, they rush out. And at the end of the day, those that rushed out will be the ones saying, it's a lie, it's a scam. And it's because they didn't actually do their feasibility studies to know what they can.
They have the capacity to
do. Their capacity and what they can accept. Because when it comes to this farming too, the other side of it can be very boring.
Boring?
Yeah. It can be very boring. When you go into long-term farming, it can be very boring. For example, when you grow perennial crops like cassava, like cashew nuts, all these long-term palm trees. Okay, like now that we have hybrids of palm trees, minimum of 3.5 years before it starts fruiting. So when you are into all this long-term,
you do it yourself.
You get tired. But when you do a long-term, and you do mixed cropping. Mixed cropping are short-term crops like watermelon, cucumber, pepper, tomato, radish, things like that. They are few months. Okay, imagine you have a long-term cassava is 1 year plus. You have palm trees. You have cashew nuts. And alongside, you have pepper. Jute takes 40 days. You have vegetables. You have beans. You have other ones. No, while waiting for this, you are harvesting this, you are selling. Then you are replanting. It's giving you hope like, okay, by the time you do twice of this, these ones are almost ready like cassava. By the time you harvest your cassava, you sell, you want to replant. In another 2 years, your palm tree too is coming up and it's showing that, okay, growth is happening.
At every point.
But if you venture into just a long term, the long term will eventually give you more money. But along the line, you might be tired. I want to back out.
There's nothing to do. You said because there will be nothing to do.
Yeah, there will be nothing to do, and it still requires money because you start cleaning. You know, you plant, growing. When the palm trees are growing, you still need to weed. So it just look like okay, now I have ventured into this, I have spent more money, and this thing is still taking money from me. I have to weed every now and then. Nothing is coming. You're like, what kind of thing did I venture into eventually? But when you put maize cropping in between, make it interesting.
Okay. Yeah. You make it sound very interesting.
It is interesting. That's the truth.
And I'm very happy to have you here to talk about this. So now you talked about mixing crops and then perennial crops and all that. Yeah. Is farming lucrative?
Very lucrative.
You heard. Very lucrative.
Yes, farming.
When a woman tells you something is very lucrative,
yes,
you best
farming
believe.
Is very lucrative when you know what you want to venture into.
Okay.
Like when I talk to people, I tell them I do strategic farming. Okay. What I meant by strategic farming, presently, we are supposed to be in season of plenty. For example, pepper, tomato, onions, and other things like that. But because of the increase in price and all that makes it. So what I mean by strategic farming, you plant against, during rainy season, prices of almost 70% of vegetables go higher. During rainy season. During dry season, we have 90% of vegetable very cheap. So a lot of farmers do their planting during rainy season, a lot, to harvest during dry season. Okay. When you harvest during dry season, you have a lot of people harvesting at the same time, which makes your profits a bit reduced. But for me, I venture into Scotch bonnet planting, tomato planting during dry season. I do my nursery of my Scotch bonnets during dry season to harvest during rainy season when the price will be a bit high. It is a lot stressful.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Constantly watching.
Yes, watching. Went from nursery to transplanting and wetting day and night. That is if you are not on irrigation system. If you're on irrigation system, irrigation is a whole lot of money. It's very expensive. So if you have irrigation, it's just a matter of pumping water, and you know your plants are good. But if you don't have irrigation system, you have to do a lot of wetting, morning, night, manually. But during the dry season, so by the time you harvest during rainy season when it is scarce.
So is you people that are feeding us when?
So for some persons, they can go with that kind of farming. But for some persons, they want to do it because nobody will say you don't want free water, like rain, because it makes your job a lot easier. When rain pours, you know, okay, all my plants in the farm, are fine. But if not, you have to be like, okay, is this part of the farm okay? Is this part of the plant okay? And stuff like that. So strategic farming too helps in this kind of farming. But to put all together, farming is lucrative when you know what you are doing, what you want, because you know it's another thing that you make research on what you want to do. Yes. I have some persons, they don't do any other thing apart from cassava. Okay. When you move, the whole of your states put together are into cassava. They might do any other thing, but you see that cassava, you can't pull them away from it. And I can bet you, cassava brings a whole lot of money. But when people look at it like 1 year, like, well, I'm not interested. But people that are into cassava will not stop planting cassava. So continuous planting of cassava like that. So it depends on what you want. Some persons have done their research to find out that, okay, I solely just want to plant cassava, and that's what they do. Some persons will tell you, I solely want to plant Scotch bonnets, that's what they do. But some persons can mix 2, 3, 4 together and still brings them money.
Okay. Here we go. Please do your research. Don't just dive into it. Don't just dive into agric, because I know that a lot of people have actually dived into agric and they've got their hands burnt. Yeah. So now we're going to talk about the food chain, because there's production, there's all of that, and then are you actively involved in all this part? Because I know you plant, but then there's this transportation, there's the distribution, and which of these parts do you
I'm
do?
involved in all.
All?
Yeah.
I know you eat too, but I know you're a consumer too, but run us through it.
Well, I'm a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, I have the opportunity to harvest my produce, then take it to where to sell.
Okay.
I have my connection how to sell it, so that makes it better for me. But a lot of farmers don't have where to sell it to. They do the farming, go through all the stress, and people just come into their farm, buy it at a very ridiculous price. They are the one that will transport it down to wherever location they are taking it to and make the whole lot of money from it. But
do you feel like having that experience where you used to sell before and then you already have pre-existing clients or market people that are waiting for you to bring, so do you think it really helped you in your agricultural journey?
Like I said earlier, I was once a supplier. I'm still a supplier anyways. So I already have my market. I have my market. I have my people. That's was part of what encourages me to go into farming, because I know I have where to sell it to. Not that I'll be begging people to come and buy my produce. No. So that is part of what encourages me to really go into farm, because I know I have my people where I'm taking it to. Within a twinkling of an eye, my goods are gone.
So what about that mom that wants to start going into agriculture and doesn't have that advantage? What would you advise them to do? Do they go to the market, try to find their people first, and then they go back to the... Or would it happen eventually? Because not everybody can do all the levels of the food chain.
No, yeah. You can do your farming, harvest, and sell off. But still, we need to do a feasibility study on anything at all that you want to venture into. You need to do, because if you don't do it, at the end of the day, when the loss happens, it's coming like a pain. So you might not be able to bear it. So if you don't do your feasibility study, that's not good enough. So whatever it is you want to venture into, you need to find out. Because, okay, fine. You want to buy from a farmer to sell. There are markets that you can take your goods to, but it's better that you find the right source to take your market to, rather than now looking for people to buy it from you after you buying it. So it doesn't make any sense. Imagine you want to start selling garri in bags. You have the source from Oyo, but you don't have anywhere to take it to. That means you are just jumping into the business without you doing your findings, which does not make any sense. Doesn't mean that, okay, the money is just available, I just want to spend it. No. So when you get to the market, you start asking people. There are a lot of market women, men that are ready to buy the goods. They don't even want to go through the stress of transport. Traveling is a whole lot.
Yes, it is.
I leave my house 4:30 in the morning. I come back 2 a.m., 1 a.m.
Every time.
So
every time you go to the market?
Every time I go to the farm. When it's harvest season, I come back late, because harvesting a pound of Scotch bonnets at Arodo, you can be on that plant for another 10 minutes plucking. It takes one. So we spend over 10 hours plucking before we bag, before you now take it down to Lagos.
10 hours plucking.
So a lot of persons prefer that I am in my shop. Just bring it
to me.
Come back in the next 2 days. Come and have your money. It's fine. So when you do your feasibility studies and you like, okay, there are people that can take this thing off me. It's just a matter of me traveling, buying it with my money, take it down there. In the next 2, 3, 1 week, you get your money back. At least then you can separate your capital from your profit.
Okay, there you have it. I don't really have much to add on this agricultural matter because I have a professional here. Now, I want to circle back to our kids and their interest and their love for agriculture.
Okay.
I know that some people have this thing, it's a passion, they have it in them. How do we make our kids more interested? This is a mom show, and some people might be watching this and be like, oh, I don't want my children to go into agriculture. But then I'm going to touch on the part where you do farming as where you're a consultant, a farming consultant. I'm going to circle back to that. How do we make our children more interested in they like, you know, the new age thing, phones, and I know that there is a little bit of technology as well in agriculture. How do we get them to be more interested?
Okay, well, like the saying that anything we do, our children learns from us. So this farming of a thing, Okay, let me use my daughter as an example.
Please do.
Anything at all in the house she wants to plant. Orange seed, pepper seed, tomato seed,
You give her a
anything
space for
seed.
planting.
Yes, I brought sand. I brought soil from the farm. I have it at home. Then probably any mold can, I don't throw them away. I just cut them off so that it can
Plant
like
her.
that. She sees me doing these things.
Does she go to the farm with you sometimes?
Yes, of course.
Good.
Not once, not twice. We go together.
Okay.
So she sees me do these things. She pick interest.
Okay.
So, some persons are not farmers.
Yes.
So what do you expect their children to now say, I want to be a farmer?
No.
So it's what they see their parents do. They will, except on a rare cases where this person is just interested. And I don't think, and maybe because of distance again, we are in Lagos.
Yes.
And except you are a landlord that has probably a small space at the backyard that your child can want to experiment at the back of your house, fine. If not, there are not even space for these children to say, okay, they want to do
play.
this, or except that a person who is extremely interested, he or she is not a farmer, but just want to try out one or two things, and the children sees that, okay, daddy tries to plant this, mommy tries to do this, I'm interested and all that. Okay, when children are interested in doing this, can they take them for an excursion? Are parents ready to release their children for an excursion? And I won't say blame them because of the risk
that is involved
of traveling, all this insecurity and all that. So a lot of things are at stake that children might not
find themselves in
that space, except that the parents are farmers and they do it, they see it, they take them to the farm. Like presently, they are taught, I'm waiting patiently for the third time break so that we can have our own summer at the farm.
At the farm.
2 weeks.
Summer at the farm. Sounds fun.
Yeah, summer at the farm.
Okay.
Summer at the farm, rainy season at the farm.
So that's work.
So that at least by the time she resumes school, while some other person is like, Lori, we traveled to so, she would share her own experience. So I traveled to my mom's farm.
Okay.
I planted this. I saw this. We have a piggery pen. There's a poultry pen too. I fed the turkeys. I fed the chickens. So she too, she will share her own experience. And I know that the experience she had gathered in that just 2 weeks won't leave her immediately. So that's too.
Okay, I was. I know I can really feel your passion right now because you're very, very passionate, which I love. So I was going to ask you a couple of questions, but first, what's your main focus now? Farming or consulting, or do you do both simultaneously?
Yeah, farming, especially because the consulting part, not too much. Not that I don't, but well, when people are not coming, what do you do? But I face my farming squarely. I'm into farming squarely, planting 80%, the rearing of animals like 20%.
Okay, so this consulting, do you, I'm saying this because someone might be watching and they want to start a farm. Do you have like one-on-one with people?
Yeah, yes, I'm available. I'm available. If anybody is interested in farming, why not? I'm available. I can put them through.
Okay, what they need to do.
Not even buying of the land is the main thing. Like, what do you want? Why do you want to go into farming? Because some persons hear you talk about farming, how lucrative, how interesting, and that was all. They just say, I'm farming. Why do you want to go into farming? Is it a long-time thing?
Maybe, I think being lucrative is also it's a good reason to want to go into it.
And to some persons, it's just like a flash.
Okay.
It's not as if they meant it like that. When the challenges surface, they just get tired.
Okay.
So you need to ask them, like, it's not just about going into farming. Why do you want to go into farming? What do you want to do? Do you want to rear animals? Do you want to go into production? Do you want to plant to harvest? What do you want to do? Okay, I want to plant. I want to own a farmland. I want to plant to harvest and sell. Some farmers, they will plant, harvest, produce, packaging, export. Some don't even sell their products in Nigeria. So it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to farm, to harvest, to package, to export? Do you want to farm, to package, to sell within Nigeria? Do you want to farm to just sell? like that. So it depends. When he or she says, okay, I want to farm, sell here in Nigeria. Okay, what do you want to venture into?
Okay.
Is it a long-term thing? Is it a miscropping thing you want to do? Do you have that patience for a long-term thing? If, okay, I want to do palm trees, solely palm trees, that means a long-term, 3-4 years.
That's how you go with your consultant.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
okay,
if it's a short-term thing,
then we know
then
where
we
to
know
take it from. Okay. So you've been talking about farming, and you also talked about livestock.
Yeah.
So you do farming, planting, you do livestock. What part of farming don't you do?
Well, for now, I don't do production.
You don't do production?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just have, you do livestock,
Yeah.
you plant, and what, you do piggery. What other livestock do you do? Chicken?
I do chicken and I do turkey.
Do you do fish?
No.
Okay, now you don't do fish. That's the only thing that Adekunbi doesn't do. She doesn't do fish. So if you want to buy livestock from her, she does livestock, but she doesn't do fish. So is that, how do you handle both? Because I'm looking here and I'm thinking, I always feel like people that are solely into planting, they don't go into those other areas. Do they benefit each other? Is there any reason why you do that?
Well, it's just because I love livestock, but I can't.
I love livestock.
The ratio is to probably 85-15. The farming, the planting is 85%.
Okay.
The livestock is just 15%. So, in the other hand, planting, livestock, it takes a whole lot because you have to feed and all that.
Yeah.
And since I have the farmland, the space that is available, I can still grow their feeds.
Oh, for them.
So, yeah.
So it's like a win-win, sort of beneficial to each other.
Livestock, chicken, turkey, 70-80% of their feed meal is from corn. So if I have probably like 5 acres of corn, maize in my farmland, dried it, bagged it, then mixed with it other things to make their feed meal. Okay. Cost of feeding is reduced by 70%. What I need to use to feed my livestock. Okay. So that helps. That's why I have the livestock, but it's ratio 85-15%. Okay. The farming. There's a juicy bit about this farming thing that I really want to talk about. Okay. And it's the gender bias and reality. Gender reality and bias in farming. Yeah. So we're going to take the first one. Okay. Owning a land. How did you go about that? Because I know that in some parts, those are one of the issues that women face. Not even in some parts, all parts.
Most parts?
Yeah, all parts. Because cultural belief, traditional beliefs, like men are the one that are entitled to land. Don't let me say farmland. Let me say land.
Ownership.
They own. So probably except maybe the woman is the only child and she does not have somebody who drags the farmland or family member with her that she can say, okay, my father gave me, I inherited this farmland from my parents and I want to go into farming with it. Okay. But what I want to say is majority of females that are into farming, I believe so much that that farm was bought with their money, not the one they inherited. A lot of male inherited farmland. There are some that still buys land to do their farming, but I want to say that majority homes inherit the farmland to venture into farming, while I think the female they tend to purchase. Did you have any issues when you were trying to purchase? Do you feel like there was a bias against you as a woman? The first thing is looking at you and seeing that you're a female. Like, they don't want to believe that you want to go into farming? No, not that they don't even want to believe you. They will look at you and think like, this one, in the next 6 months, she's going to... Well, I have my money though. Yeah, I want to buy to buy the farmland. They just look at you like, in the next 6 months, let's see how far she can go. With the farming? Yeah. But they don't know that women are very, very... They're very intentional when they choose to do. Do you tend to meet a lot of female farmers that are not successful? No. But they will tend to frustrate your efforts. I'm sorry, I will have to use a particular language in Yoruba that says, "Were laughing pot were." In other words, you have to be crazy. It's that were laughing pot, and because if not, they will intimidate your life till the end. I was a particular time I had, I wasn't having issues. I actually bought 28 acres of land from some persons, and I think they felt, this small girl, let's just ride her.
Okay.
They told me, okay, I will need to give them a few months to settle everything. I did my documentation, everything was intact. I was like, okay. So you requested for like few months, and which I gave you. And at the end, I was like, sir,
how far?
And like, no. Before you know it, so that you don't tell me, Jack. I went to the station, told the DPO and all that. The DPO summoned the person. The person is not a small person. You know, summoned the person, summoned every other person that were involved in this whole thing. You know, at the end of the day, when we had a discussion, one-on-one, the man called me. It's not just another person, he's a chief in the... Auntie Olayasha, I own the land.
Yeah.
And I needed to use my land. They felt that since we purchased the land, it would just be there.
Oh, not for you.
They will sell the land to you. They still want to own it. After collecting money from you and all that. But they found out that this one is different from others. Like, I bought this farmland, I want to use it. And I'm ready to use it. And I am here. So they don't have a choice than to like answer from me. But he confronted me to tell me, Olayasha.
So, in other words, you're trying to tell me that if anybody's watching this and they're female and they want to go into agriculture, they should be ready.
No, I'm not scaring them, but I'm
not scaring them.
Yeah,
just you have to be very bold.
Yes, they need. If it comes to confrontation, why not? Let them know this is what you want to do. Because I'm telling you, they will frustrate your efforts. Because this kind of thing that you want to venture into, you can't do it yourself. I don't do it myself. I join them into harvesting. I do some other things, but farming is tedious. So I need people to work for me on the farmland. So before you get somebody who's going to be loyal to you, who you can send on an errand when it comes to this farming of a thing, you know, before you get people that will even work for you on your farmland, so it takes a lot. So when you spend a whole lot of amount to purchase, and you want to do your farming and one person is coming from one angle, you won't take it easy with them. Like, I have a plan. This is my goal. Why would you want to be a barrier in achieving my goal? You won't take it easy with them. So the cultural part, the traditional part is, but still, women are not giving in at all. Like, whatever it is you want to do, if I have my money, I can buy farmland. I can buy land and do what I want to do. But the only thing I just pray is that we get good people that can work with us so that when you are not there, you know you have a supervisor, like I do. I have a supervisor that I can go to sleep, and I know he's working on my behalf. But you still don't go to sleep. I'm just saying that.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, like, you know, you have somebody that you know is working on your behalf.
Yeah.
Even if you are not calling, and by the time you call, like, what's the situation report? Like, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Sometimes he uses his own money to do some things on my behalf because he knows I will pay him and all that. But, well, women are, well, like, they're not giving up anyway. So
that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. So another thing I wanted to touch on is the governmental support. Do you get any sort of support? Let me finish now. You're already doing like this.
Yeah, I have not gotten any.
Because there seems to be a lot of like agricultural support. Maybe I read about it or you hear about these things, right?
I do.
Okay, and I feel like sometimes some support goes towards female farmers, agriculture to help.
Well, people
are these things applications? Do you have to apply for them?
Seriously,
like
you have
trainings
to.
And
yes, you have to. But you know, by the time they start it's not the stress. Okay. It's not the stress, but things that are involved.
The
maybe
process
for somebody like me, I'll get irritated. And you know, when it comes to this farming of a thing, you have the elderlies more into this thing compared to younger ones like us.
Okay.
So most of the time when you want to express yourself, you consider the fact that, okay, I'm well trained. Don't let me bust out the way I want to express myself, because at times they come up with some things that you get irritated. Okay, I do commodities.
Okay.
I do cashew nuts.
Okay.
I do charcoal. Okay. I do all these things. I buy, I sell. I don't do exporting. So I'm part of the cashew nuts member, in short. But imagine that you are in a group. You are here to discuss something important, And when you have 95% of male and few females, what do you expect? What you came for was not what they will be discussing. And you can't drag it with them. Yeah. They are the one in a bigger position that can help you. So if you cannot comply with what they want,
you're not getting anything.
You're not getting it. So for me, I'm not giving up. If there's any that is available, probably a grant from government, but as we speak, I've not gotten any. And I don't think I can condone some things. So that's why I'm just...
we're just saying, if this ever reaches any governmental agency, please make it easier for the women and make the applications less tedious so that these things can get to these people. They are really, really doing a lot. The work is a lot. So it would be nice to make it easier for them, and then they spend less time doing all of this. Okay, so I'm going to go into... So what do you consider a successful year on the farm? I mean, all year round. I don't know how your farming year starts. Is it January to December, or when you start planting to seed to... What do you consider a successful year?
Well, a successful year for me is, not for me alone, for any farmer, is when a farmer from nursery to planting, nursery to transplanting, to wetting, nurturing, then good harvest. A good harvest, it's a good year for any. Yes,
it sounds like money.
A good harvest is a good year for any farmer.
Rain?
Yeah.
Is rain a factor?
It depends on the seeds. It depends on what you want to plant. Okay. Right now, it's time for maize. We are in season because rain is coming. This is the time that people plant maize to harvest by June, July. We know June, July, we start eating a lot of corn. So in this time of rainy season, this is the time that you have a whole lot of vegetables in this time of raining season. And in this time of raining season, that's when you can plant cassava too. That helps the stems to quickly... you can plant a whole lot of things during rainy season because of the free water. It helps. But there are still some plants you can't plant during rainy season. Like, you can't plant beans during rainy season. You plant beans towards end of July, August, because beans does not need too much water. So we still have some crops, we have some plants, we have some seeds that does not need too much water. So if you plant beans right now as we speak, you won't have a good harvest. So you won't blame anybody
for that.
So that's why I said, before you venture into anything, you do your findings to know what you are supposed to plant at a particular time. During dry season, you can plant. Okay, for example now, when you plant cassava, maybe let's say from February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, you can still. But when it's dry season, you can't plant cassava. Why? It needs little of water to survive. Then the remaining is left for the dew. Cassava will survive without you wetting it. The dew is enough for cassava to survive, but it needs little water. So that's why majority of the time, when it's thick, dry season, you can't plant. But when it's heavy rainy season as well, there are still some plants, some seeds that you can still not plant. So you need to know what is good for, except those that are into greenhouse. Except those that are into greenhouse. You know, rain is not touching whatever it is that you are doing. Then, can we do cassava greenhouse? No.
Because it needs the dew.
No, what I'm saying is, there are things that you can do for greenhouse.
You know me, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
You know me,
there
I don't know.
There are things you can do for greenhouse.
There are some things I can chip
in. Okay, for example,
mommy stuff, not that Greek stuff. I don't know.
Okay, for example, I read something on Facebook. Like, some persons will say, you need to plant your yam from January. Then do your harvest by September after yam festival and all that. But some persons are planting yam and they are harvesting in the space of 6 months in a bag in their house. So the time you planted your yam seed, January, February, March, dry season, no water, the seed will decay before it turns to you know there's no water. But because you are planting it in your house,
Oh, you can.
you are wetting
wet
it. The rate at which it will germinate, it's different from the
fast.
one you planted on the farmland that you are expecting rain to fall on. So it differs. So it depends on how you go about it. So for me, it depends on how you go about it, what you want to do, what you want to plan, when you know your season to do it, and you are good to go.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, what is something that you have learned as a business person, as a farmer, that you didn't learn in school, that nobody ever told you? Like, and that is like 100% a top tip that you have always been using in business. This is like it's one of your secrets, but you're going to tell us.
No. It's, why not?
Yeah.
Like a good relationship. Because you cannot do it all. You cannot do it all. As a farmer, a good relationship with your workers, I can tell you, there are secrets they will let out that you won't believe. Relationship, I'm not talking about money.
Yeah, I understand.
Because, for example, when I get to the farm, if I'm not going to the farm, I'm telling you, my workers will call me with all humility, like, we miss you. When are you coming to the farm? Not because of the money.
Yeah.
But when I get to the farm, I call them, Friday, how are you doing? What's happening? Okay, it's been 5 days I was at the farm. What happened? They tell me things that has been happening in the farm. Because I care about their well-being.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on with them. Meanwhile, mind you, I know where I'm going. But I'm drawing them to myself so that the next question I'm about to ask them, they will be free to let me know. Yeah. So by the time I now ask them, okay, Friday, what are we going to do about this? Mommy, okay, let's do it this way. Let's do it. Before they will let out that secret, they would have forgotten that they're telling you something. So number one, relationship, good relationship. When you keep relationship with person, then a lot of persons too, the way people actually maltreat workers. People maltreat their workers, and that's changed my perspective. I like when you treat people good. I'm not talking about the bad eggs, but when you treat people good,
they will come back to you.
They will give you their life.
Yeah.
They will work out their hearts for you. They will stick their neck for you. They will go all out.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that nothing happens to that particular thing they are working on. And if peradventure anything happens, you see the pain in them that this shouldn't have happened, but well, it happened. But you will know that they tried their best. So I learned the relationship between your workers personally.
Okay.
Like keeping good relationship, keep knowing your workers. Then another thing I learned too, respect.
You can't take that one in school, right?
Respect. Just because you respect people, just come down from the bike and like, nothing that you are about to ask them, even if you don't have it, they will go all out for you, and you'll be wondering, like, so I learned, well, we are Yorubas, we grew up that like it's a must that you must respect. But you know, there are still some people other things that you just like, and you know, this familiarity of it is a whole lot. But relationship, you know, being kind, you know, respect, good gesture too.
Comes back to you. I agree with you on that, because for some people it's not always about, oh, you have to be on the same level to be able to offer some of these things. You don't need to be on the same level to be kind, to be respectful, and I 100%.
That was how I got. That was how I was able to get the farmland that I purchased. I didn't even ask for it.
They reached out to you.
We had 15 acres plus.
Okay.
And my supervisor just said, Auntie, on the 28 acres, can you like, are you serious? Let's work on it. Let's work on it. And that was how we got it. I'm telling you, I was not the only one fighting for that farmland. We were up to 3. And I got it. We didn't think one overnight.
Okay.
I got it, and with no azu. So relationship brought about that, and we didn't lose it. So like that, there are things that you wouldn't even expect that you will get, or you will see, or people you will meet. That in your wildest dream, I'm talking about my own 50 acres of farmland.
Yeah.
And you are seeing somebody who owns 300 hectares.
Okay.
And you've been wondering, 300 hectares. An acre is 6 plots here in Lagos, but 8 plots
outside Lagos.
60 by 120 when it's a farmland.
Okay.
An acre. An hectare is like 12 plots.
Okay.
Somebody now owning 300 hectares. I'm not saying acres.
Yeah, I understand.
And the person is just on a palm slippers on a bike. Imagine that you had abused that person because he said, Auntie Georgia and Koja, like, who is this?
True.
I met with these people every now and then. And Alaji, and let's madam. Imagine that probably I needed something and I walk up to him. Do you think he won't do it for me?
For you, yeah.
Just because of just mere greeting, relationship and respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things like that too.
You have heard though. You have heard though. People, be kind, respect people. It's not just, it doesn't necessarily need to be the same people. Everybody around you, your workers, everybody, it goes without saying anyway. So I need to point out that you look really, really good. There's this misconception that people always feel like when you see a farmer, you must know that this person is a farmer. So you don't look like a farmer. So you need to tell us the secret. Because now, if you say to somebody, and it's like, you want me to be a farmer, but when I come out now, everybody's going to know I'm a farmer. Maybe they expect you to carry a hoe or a cutlass on your hand. But yes, what's the secret? What do you do? I don't know. Or maybe it's just God's gift, God's nature. Just tell us. Give us the tea.
Nothing really.
But you don't look like a farmer. Has anybody ever seen you or met you and said, you're a farmer? Has anybody ever said that?
Okay, this is my leisure time.
Oh, this is your leisure time?
Yeah, this is my free time. Okay, something happened sometimes ago.
Okay.
I went to supply.
Okay.
At ShopRite Lekki.
Okay.
And there's a particular person. Once I enter into the FCMB, to be precise, when I enter into the bank, the person look at me from head to toe as if I'm not human. I got to, this is not fair. But the day I was to pick a check up from the restaurant and to pay it into FCMB, I was looking all good. Immediately I opened the door, the guy ran away. And I told the other guy, I said, please call Demola for me. Like, why? Call him for me. He came and like, Kumbi, I'm sorry. You don't have to. I said, you are a banker. In short, you are a banker. For crying out loud, your jobs warrant you to put on a suit.
Yes. Yeah.
And I dare you not to put on a suit because you're going to be in the AC for 24, all day. Do you want to die of pneumonia? But what if I'm putting on a suit and a high heel and I'm at my 12? Don't you think they will look at me like, is this okay?
Going on?
My job warrants me to dress casual because I'm going to lift loads. I'm going to lift weights. I'm going to lift tomato, pepper, and all that. You don't expect me to put on a suit and a high heel to the market. So a lot of persons to look down. They just look, yeah. So it was there and there. You apologize, like, Kumbi, I'm sorry. Like, it's not fair. If I'm going to the farm, I don't look like this.
Okay.
I'm on a trainers, I'm on a jean, and a top, I'm on a face cap, or probably an extra bag. I won't go to farm carrying a small parcel. I'm carrying a big
giant bag.
My water bottle and stuff like that in my bag. Okay. And when I get to the farm, I'm changing my trainers. I'm putting on a rain boot because you never can tell. Snakes, other reptiles on the farmland. I'm not lying. Things will pierce and stuff like that. So if you see me, I might look very dirty anyway. I might look tired, worn out. Just imagine you walking 15 acres, walking. You have to walk all through. You can't stand somewhere and be like, okay, what are you doing? You have to walk all there. So I might actually look dirty leaving the farm, but I just tried let me clean my face, wash my face, and after I'm going back home. Because leaving the farmland, I'm leaving farm at about maybe 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So it's getting dark already. Who is looking at me? Let me get home. Once I get home, I'll go and have my... But aside going to the farm, if it's not farm day, okay, I love to party.
I love to party.
If there's any. So it's always an opportunity for me when
To
I have
go
an
all
invite,
out.
like a wedding, any good party, like I like, okay, I have a party, I'm preparing for this party. This party sounds like for me to unwind.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to go to this party to unwind myself, to dance, you know, see people, meet friends, gist and all that. Because if not, I don't think I have time to go watch movie, spa day, and stuff like that. So if it's not the party, then probably I want to sleep.
Okay, sleep is good.
Yeah.
Sleep is very
so
productive.
If it's off day for me,
Yeah.
I want to do probably 16, 15 hours of sleep. But I don't think, because you have children.
15 hours of sleep.
You won't be able to do that. But at least 7 hours of sleep is good. At least if you are not partying, you are at home.
Yeah.
Well, okay, aside sleep, I can do movie on my phone.
Okay.
Like, because going out, the journey itself to the farm alone, it's
exhausting.
enough. So when I have opportunities, I just want to be indoor. Like, even if I'm not sleeping, I want to be in my house. I don't want to jump buses. Like, okay, I want to go out.
It feels like work.
So I want to stay, because I know another 2 days, 4:30, I'm off my house to the farm. I'm coming back late at night, 10, 11. So if I have every opportunity, I want to be in my house. I don't want to go out. So that's it for me. If it's not party, sleep, movie, and stay at home.
Okay. So, that's great. It sounds 15 hours of sleep sounds great to me.
No, you can't get it.
You can't get it. Why? Because you have a child. It sounds. That's why I said it sounds great. I don't know if I don't think it's achievable. I don't know if it's achievable, but it sounds great. Now, one last question: what makes you happy? Truly, truly happy from the bottom of your belly, like this, like the depth of your mind. Don't say Jesus.
How do I?
What makes you happy? What's that thing that you see
Oh.
that you just know that this is my joy, this is what makes me happy?
My farm.
Your farm?
Yeah. Anything on that farm, like, okay, you have these prospects in your head.
Okay.
You have plans of putting this, doing this, and every plans that you have, you are executing them, and they are coming out fine. What more do you want?
True.
Because, okay, you are planting this, it's coming out fine. You can see the progress. You are doing this, it's coming out fine. You can see the progress. You are doing this. What more?
Okay.
It's enough to make you happy, because
it's your
work is giving you happiness. Then home, whatever it is happening in that house is not enough to kill the joy, because this is whatever it is going to bring in the money to spend and all that, and you are putting it into order, is doing well. So any other thing is not enough to kill this joy that is coming in. Or like when a farmer had done so much, spent so much and all that, and at the end of the day, they tell you the weather is too harsh, all diseases are God burnt. What kind of happiness?
None at all.
So, like, okay, this season is good. You planted and everything came out well. You did a good harvest. Even before the harvest, they are coming out well. You are sure that it's coming. So, no other thing that can come up can supersede that. So, for any other person, even if you are not a farmer, your work, you are doing well. Promotion is coming in. You know, things are happening. So, any other one is not enough to kill this other one. So, for me, my joy, my farm, my daughter, at least we have to be grateful for life as well. Yes, so
absolutely. So you see, I definitely don't have anything to add to this agriculture conversation. That is why I brought Kumbi here today. And really, I want to ask her, like, where do you see yourself in a couple of years? But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait to bring Kumbi back here when her farm is hectares. What's your projection? What's your projection? Hectares. Thousands of hectares.
Hopefully.
1,000 hectares.
Oh, okay.
When she has 1,000 hectares, I'll bring her back here and she's going to come and give us all the juice and going to show us how to make more money. So thank you so much
for
coming to the show. It was really, really insightful. I enjoyed it and I learned a lot. So I want you to do a quick plug where we can find you. If you want me to plug your number in the caption, I will do that. But let them just know where they can find you, and then...
Okay, on TikTok, female farmer.
Okay.
On Instagram, it's just my name. On TikTok, female farmer 1. On Instagram, it's my name, Adekunbi Okekunle. On Facebook, it's my name, Adekunbi Okekunle. Thank you.
So I'm going to plug Kumbi's TikTok handle. I'm going to plug it in the caption, and I'm going to plug all the information that you need from her. If you want to consult her as a female farmer, if you want to become a farmer, or if you just want to talk to her generally about consulting or farming, anything that concerns farming, I'm going to plug her right in the caption. And that's it on the Millennial Mom Show. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and also follow our handles on the screen. And till I come your way next time, continue to live in light.